Hello everybody and welcome back. So today I'm finally bringing you my March roundup. I know this is coming to you guys later in the month of April, but you can always count on me for a monthly roundup. So as always, I gathered up all of the products I brought into my collection over the month of March, and I separated them into 3 categories. So my favorites, my likes, and my dislikes or disappointments. So I know you know the drill with that. So before we get into it, I'd love for you to subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. So I have one product that is to be determined, and that is the Makeup Forever HD Skin. Now, I'll give you a little rundown of my experience with it this far, just if you're curious. The first time I used this, I fell in love with it. It was beautiful. It just sat on top of my skin so beautifully. It was just like a very simple feeling foundation, and I thought it was going to be my new go-to for longer occasions or just if I wanted a flawless base. It was very comfortable, but every time I used it after that, it kind of sat on top of my skin and it would just smudge away. Even if I graced my fingers on top of it, it would just like smudge like oil paint would, and other products weren't layering nicely on top. But I have a feeling that it was because of my skincare underneath, or because I was forgetting to shake the foundation up prior to applying it. It could be a combination of both of those things, but one time I switched up my skincare and I also shook the foundation, as it says on the bottle very clearly here. Just forgot. And it was wearing beautifully. So I just want to keep an eye on it. I don't have like a solid opinion on this product yet, so I'm going to continue trying it out and I'll update you in my next roundup. So that's my thoughts on that. But now let's get into my favorites. I do have a favorite foundation of the month of March, and that was the Dior Forever Skin Glow foundation. This is what I thought this foundation was going to be. It just was simple and effortless to work with, super quick to apply. It was very flawless. It gave my skin a really nice sheen where it didn't look too glowy, but it still added a ton of glow and dimension to my face. It corrected everything I wanted it to, and it was super long wearing. This was the foundation I wore on my birthday, and I wore it all day long, and it was solid. It's beautiful coverage, beautiful finish, and really long wearing. It's a solid foundation in my collection. This has become my go-to if I'm going to be wearing my makeup for a long time or if I want a very flawless base. And it's awesome because it does have SPF 15, which I would recommend always putting an SPF underneath your foundation as well, but it's always nice to have that extra protection. Speaking of the Dior products, I did re-fall in love with the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. At first, I despised this concealer. It used to be very dry under my eyes, but something has changed and now it's been one of my go-to concealers. It's really easy to apply. It has a thicker consistency, so you just need 2 little tiny dots under the eye and it will blend out flawlessly. It's the perfect amount of coverage. It's also very long wearing, just like the foundation is. It's just been a really easy addition to my collection. I just wanted to quickly mention that this one is another great one to spot correct over my face as well, because it does have a matte finish, so it's not going to add a sheen to my raised spots on my face. So it just corrects them perfectly and kind of camouflages the texture. Although you can't correct texture with makeup in most cases, especially like bumps from acne or anything, it helps to cut the shine off of that to mask the appearance just a tiny bit more. I do have another concealer that I really fell in love with over the month of March and the first half of April. It's the LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer. It truly is such a brightening concealer. It also has a very thin and hydrating texture. It's really fun to work with. It feels like a cooling gel when you're actually putting it on. It feels like an eye cream. Similarly to the Kosas one a little bit, but a little bit thinner in consistency, and I feel like their shade range is a bit better because I feel like sometimes the Kosas ones can lean quite yellow, but these ones have the 3 undertones as well, so whatever you fit into, they have an incredible shade range. I also really like the little applicator. The little triangle is really fun to get up into your inner corner here. I always correct right here where I have some blueness, and it's small enough that you can get precise application without getting it everywhere. And I wouldn't call it a full coverage concealer. I would say it's a medium buildable concealer. I guess that depends on how you apply it and how much you apply, but the way I apply my concealers, I always get kind of a medium coverage and it always looks really flattering under my eyes. Next up, I have a powder that I immediately fell in love with, and that was the Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom Cake Powder. I didn't think I was going to like this at all. I'm very hit or miss with Huda Beauty products, and I just thought her powder was going to be very heavy for my liking, especially for a powder that says cake and it's also meant to be a baking powder. But the way I apply it is just like all my other under eye powders, and it is very blurring and it sets my concealers perfectly. And I also like how it's such a pink color, so it does lighten up my eyes perfectly under there. I'm wearing it under my eyes today, and I have been pretty much every single day since I received this. It's a really gorgeous powder. I also enjoy setting my face with it sometimes, especially my forehead. I feel like it does a really great job at setting there, but sometimes in the center of my face it can feel a little bit drying for my liking, but sometimes that's good, especially if it's like a hotter day or I just want my oils to not ruin my makeup that day. It's good to dehydrate that area. But the one thing I always say about this powder is that it's like ridiculously fragranced, so if you're very sensitive to smells, I would not go for this one. Sometimes even if I do slightly bake under my eyes, it like kind of stings them, so I really wish she would have just cut the fragrance out of this, especially for something that you're working around the eye so much. But other than that, if you use a small amount, it's not a big deal at all, and it does dissipate, like it doesn't linger all day long. Overall, I've been really loving this powder. It's something I've been reaching for so much, and way more than I thought I would. So now I have a couple blushes to talk about, and this is another Huda Beauty product actually. These are the Cheeky Tint blush sticks. I have been adoring my experience with these. I did recommend these in my VIB sale video, but these are just awesome. They're a really nice formula. They're not too offensively dewy. They just have a gorgeous little sheen in there that makes your cheeks look dewier than they actually are. They're not dewy in like texture, they're dewy in look, which I like that. And they're quite long lasting, but they're really easy to blend out. They're not so waxy, especially for a stick blush, so I really enjoy that. They have like a nice sheerness, very melty, and the colors are gorgeous. I am wearing these two shades mixed today. I mixed Perky Peach and Rebel Red together, and I think they look really cute. But my favorite shades have been that Perky Peach and Coral Cutie, but I feel like this is going to be in my favorites as well, that Rebel Red. It's a really nice brick color. Look at that. Here, I'll swatch the other ones while I'm at it. So these are my three favorites. That's that Perky Peach over here and whatever the other one was, Coral Cutie. And I'll swatch the other two just so you can see the entire range. This pink I haven't worn yet, but it looks like a really fun, kind of warmy, cool pink. If that makes any sense, you know? Like some pinks are too cool. Like they look purple, but this one has like a nice warmth that I think will flatter people. And that's a nice berry purple. Love them. The next blushes I had in here were the Item Beauty Blushin' Like Cream blushes. And these are very unique. These stood out to me immediately. They're not like any other cream blush I have in my collection. They're kind of a mix of a few. I would say that they're kind of close to the MAC Glow Play blushes, but a bit more powdery and stiff, but in a good way. Like they are creamy and you can push your finger into them, and it has a slight fluffy cloud texture, but they're far more powdery than you'd expect for something that says a cream blush, but they blend out like a cream but look like a powder on the skin. They're very interesting, and if you are more of a powder person but you're wanting to dabble into the cream blushes, I think this is a really great transitional blush into creams because it's kind of the perfect mix of both worlds. My favorite shades are It's Verified and Oopsies. It's a really cute, like more pinky leaning peach. Oh god, I'm doing a really bad job with my spacing of these swatches. Forgive me everyone, please. I did not map this out properly. This Bad Bleep shade down here looks gorgeous as well, but these are all of the colors. The two that I wear the most are right here. They're cute. And they do have a slight sheen to them. It's a very tiny little pearl, so it does add a lot more glow than it feels like it would. So now I've been trying quite a few of the About Face products here and there, and this liquid highlighter blew me out of the water. I did not expect to like this at all because it looks kind of like a really intense highlighter, kind of like the iconic London original liquid ones, but they actually sink into your skin so beautifully. Like look, it looks like a little dollop of metal, but it does sink and melt right into your base. Now I put way too much on my hand, so it's gonna cover the entire thing. Nice. Okay, my swatch game today, you guys. Don't come for me, okay? So there it is. It looks a lot more intense on my hand than it does on my face, but it just is stunning, and it sinks right into your base, whatever you're wearing underneath of it. I can even get away with putting this on top of my like powdered bronzer because it does eventually set down to a powdery state, which is awesome for longevity, and also it's a lot more comfortable instead of having like this kind of dewy strip on your face that your hair can get stuck into it. This one doesn't do that at all. And they also offer so many fun colors in these highlighters, but my favorite by far is the one I just swatched, which is Shaken or Stirred. It's just a nice lightly gold shift. It's stunning. I actually have a few more About Face products to talk about in this category. This is actually the product that made me really interested in About Face to begin with. The first couple months that it was out, I just really never was interested in like the vibe or the products, but now that I've actually been playing with the textures and stuff, they are so high quality and very different, but I feel like you can alter all of them to anyone's preferences. I know her like model looks and just like the looks that she wears are very out there and kind of more artsy, but you can still like take them down a lot. And these loose pigments are incredible. These are by far the best pigments I have used. They're actually called loose glitters. Some of them are more glittery than others, but I would call them more pigments. They're moisturized, so the glitters don't like spread all over your face. They actually just adhere to the place that you apply them to. And I really enjoy the packaging because it has a sifter in it, which helps to keep this product a lot more clean, meaning that your makeup bag won't be a cloud of pigment and glitter. They also have incredible shifts. I'll swatch my favorite. I love all of the shades I have, but the shades Saint Ceremony and Out of Body are by far my favorite. And I also really admire that she took down the price of most of her products. They used to be like in the $20 to $30 range, and now I think they're in the $10 to $20 range, which I really admire that. So it's more accessible to a wider group of people. But I feel like the quality of the actual products are a lot higher. So these are the two that I love the most. This one is Out of Body and this one is Saint Ceremony, which is just like such a me color. I always fall in love with these violet, blue, pink shifty ones. And they're so fun to top on any eye look, or you can just use them by themselves, and they're so transformative and very eye-catching. I just love how high quality these feel, and I love how they just adhere to anything you apply them to. It's awesome. I really hope they continue to release more shades in these as well, because I will be a collector. I also fell in love with their fluid eye paints. So they have a ton of colors, kind of like the Danessa Myricks Color Fixes. This is kind of their version, but they have a lot more funky colors, and I kind of feel like these might be even more user-friendly to people. I kind of separated both of them. This is from the first launch, and this is the newest launch. I'm keeping them separated just for my full face of About Face. I've been feeling so incredibly inspired by them. I'm wearing this red shade called Scream of, my gosh, Consciousness? Yeah, Scream of Consciousness as my eyeliner today. They're just really fun to create anything. You can mix them together to create your own colors. You can spread them all over your lid as your eyeshadow. You can create strong eyeliners like I'm wearing today. You can just virtually do anything you think of with them. It's awesome, and I've been having so much fun playing with the products. I kind of enjoy how there's a wand inside, so it's a little bit easier to work with, and the pigmentation of each one is phenomenal. They're very opaque, but they feel very thin, and once they dry, they don't crackle or flake. Like, they're just very long wearing and comfortable, which is kind of rare for such highly pigmented liquid shadows. I've just been really excited about them because I've never had such a wide range of colors to play with in a good formula. Usually in the past I would have to like really struggle to get a look to look good. And now I just have these awesome products that I can create anything I want. They just really excite me. And now we're moving on to one of my favorite products from the month, and that is the MAC Stack Mascara. So they came out with two versions. They came out with two sizes of wands specifically, the micro and the mega wand. Here they are. So there isn't like a huge difference, but it's significant enough. I prefer the mega wand actually, which kind of took me by surprise. I feel like it just applies my mascara way quicker than the smaller one. But this is one of the most unique mascaras I have ever come across. It truly just stacks layers after layers and it never gets ugly or chunky or spidery. It's just such a buildable, voluminous, lengthening mascara. This has quickly become my favorite mascara. I feel like I even prefer it over the Rare Beauty one now. I still love that one and I still use it lots, but I've been reaching for this one so much more now because it's even quicker and I feel like it achieves the lash look I prefer on myself very quickly. It's just amazing. I don't know what else to tell you guys. And it also kind of acts like a tubing mascara, but it isn't. It just wears really nicely on your lower lashes as well. It does not smudge or flake on the lower lashes, which is incredible. I love having a 2-in-1 mascara for me. I also really enjoy the packaging. The little silver ball there is really eye-catching and it's very different than what we're used to seeing. This is just a very special one. I've never had a mascara that could build so many layers without it getting chunky. I've only had one similar-ish and that was the Pat McGrath Fetish Eyes mascara, but I do prefer this one for its wand. I feel like you're able to get a much more detailed application since it does have that thinner tapered wand at the end. It just is incredible and you guys need to try this out if you've been looking for a new, very volumizing and lengthening mascara. This one is what you're looking for. It's awesome. Now I have a couple lip products here. So for lip liners, I've only tried these 3 shades so far, but these are the About Face lip liners. I actually have a ton of other colors as well, but they're really nice. They're super glidey. They kind of remind me of a glidier version of the Melt Cosmetics ones, which is kind of crazy. They have really great pigmentation. I'm wearing the shade Smoking Room around my lips today. I'll also put everything I'm wearing on my face in the description down below as well if you want to know like my lip combo or anything like that. But these lip liners are really nice, high quality, very glidey, very long lasting and pigmented, and they have such a wide range of shades as well, so you'll find something you're looking for. I've been such a lip liner fan this year, but whenever I come across a new one that I love, I feel like I get obsessed over them, and these are quickly becoming my next lip liner obsessions. So I feel like I've been talking about these lipsticks quite a few times this month, but these are the Merit Signature lipsticks. I love these just through and through. First of all, your first look at these is beautiful. It's such a nice experience. The packaging is so stunning. I love how it's see-through. It kind of reminds me of like tortoise packaging just because of the colors. This shade of brown is gorgeous and the gold packaging is so nice, but the formula itself is obviously the nicest part of these lipsticks. My favorite shades are Baby and Slip. Slip is somewhere else. I think I put it over there for a different look. But they have a really nice formula where they're subtly glowy, but they also have a sheerness, but they're still saturated in color. They also have like a really nice smooth finish. They kind of feel like a powdery or lipstick, but with a glow. I know those are very kind of contradicting aspects, but that's what it is. It's very unique and different, and I feel like they will truly become so many people's signature lips. The shades are gorgeous, very approachable and beautiful. I don't really get struck by lipsticks like this anymore, but this one has. And the last product in this section is the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum. I only have the shade Bronze Glow. I hope he continues to bring out more colors. This is the only one I saw myself really wearing out of the entire range, but it's a really nice formula. Think of it kind of close to the M Cosmetics lip cushions. It's very similar to that, but even more lacquer-like, and this formula does have like a tiny little pearl, so it's going to add even more glow to your lips. This formula also feels super hydrating, and it's not like offensively plumping, it just feels cooling, and it also is just like a nice relaxing sensation on your lips. It's not going to sting the hell out of your lips. I don't know if it has like a super plumping effect, but it does make my lips look more full since it does kind of fill in my lip lines. So therefore it does make them look more plump. That's it for the first category. Now let's move into my likes. So these are the products that I enjoyed, but I have a few critiques about them or few hesitations about them, or I don't find them to be the most unique, but they are really good formulas, and if you're interested in them, I think you would enjoy them. So first off, let's start off with the Saie powder. Now this is a good powder in theory. I just kind of forget about it. It's not the most unique to me. I do like it on the center of my face. Under the eyes, I would not recommend putting this under there. I feel like it kind of crumbles away any concealer, or it kind of oddly darkens any concealer, but over the face it's really nice and blurring. This is a shimmery powder, I just want to forewarn you. So if you don't like that pearlescent look in the sun, I would stay away from this one and go for something a bit more flat, kind of like the Makeup Forever loose powder or the LYS Triple Fix powder. Those ones are really great blurring flat matte powders. But if you're looking at your skin in the shade, you don't see that obvious shimmer. But all that goes to say, I still use this in my rotation. It's just like not my all-time favorite powder. It's good, it's pretty, it blurs, it sets, but it's not my complete favorite. Like, it does not shine a light on the Kosas powder, the Rare Beauty powder, the LYS powder. For me, those ones come on top over this one for sure. I have some more Dior products here. So I have one of the highlighters and the bronzers. So the bronzer is nice. It's just kind of a simple flat matte bronzer. It is a good formula, it's beautiful, but I feel like if you're buying this product, it's more so for the Dior name, the Dior packaging, because the inside product kind of reminds me of a lot of... My cat is being really needy today, you guys. It's usually Ren dying to come in here, but today it's Lani for some reason. It's a nice formula, but you're going to be paying for the Dior experience. And same goes for the highlighter as well. Although this highlighter reminds me of some of my favorite powder highlights, I don't feel like it's the most worth it. I don't know. It depends on you and your preferences and such. I think I'm going to use this time to time. It is a really gorgeous highlighter that kind of looks like a cream on the skin. I am wearing it on the high points of my face today. It's very glowy, but it has like a naturalness to it as well. It reminds me a lot of the NARS powder highlight or the Ilia powder highlight, which are some of my favorites. So I think it's going to fit into my collection really nicely. I just don't feel like it's completely worth the price point, I guess. But the packaging is very beautiful. Like, I'm happy and grateful to have this. It's not like a must need in my opinion. I have quite a few Jones Road products, but before we do that, I do have this About Face gloss. Now this is a really nice gloss in theory if you want more of like a full opacity pigmented gloss. It does have good coverage and it has a gorgeous color. This is the shade Light Lock. This is the only one I've tried so far. It also has a really nice smell. It's kind of like slightly minty and makeup-y, but in a really good way. It's very comfortable, it's very slippy, but I feel like for me it's not as shiny as I would like for a gloss, but I feel like it's a preference thing in this situation. It's a good formula, but I wish it was a lot glossier for me. To me, it feels kind of like a liquefied lipstick because it has that opacity to it. So if that seems up your alley, maybe you'd really like that. But for me, I wish it was a bit more sheer and more glass-like. So now, like I said, I have quite a few Jones Road products to talk about. So the eye products didn't like super wow me. I feel like I've just seen these products kind of before. So these are the Just a Sec eyeshadows. These are tiny little eyeshadow pots. In here, they feel like a little jelly eyeshadow. They're very bouncy and they have kind of a topper look. I am wearing one of the shades on my lids today, kind of on top of one of the About Face shadows. I just wanted a little bit of shine to this look. They're really nice, they feel bouncy, they're just a bit sheer for my liking. So here are the two shades I have. They look really pretty on camera today. I don't know, I just haven't been really reaching for them, nor have I felt like super excited about them. I guess it's another preference thing, but they're really pretty for toppers. I do prefer these ones right here, these sparkle washes. They kind of have more of a dramatic glittery effect. I'll swatch these as well. Those first little pots, like, they feel nice, but are they the most unique thing ever? Not for me. And these are the sparkle washes. So you can see it has much more of an opaque kind of intense look. And you can also sheer these out as well. So I kind of like that more so because you'll be able to get like a multi-purpose kind of effect. And right there, that's full opacity for these little pots. I know I'm kind of comparing them in the same breath here, but these do tend to have a little bit of creasing since it does have that hydrating, really jelly-like texture, and they're also shimmers. I would recommend these over these here because these kind of dry down and set down and lock down so they won't budge and flake during the day. Jones Road also has these eyeliner pencils, and this is kind of a pencil I've been enjoying in very specific situations. If I'm going to be smudging out an eyeliner look or if I need a base, these are great. But if I'm going to be creating eyeliners, I do not go for these just because they're very sheer for what I look for in like an opaque eyeliner. They have like a softness to them, so that might be really nice for some people and other people maybe not, but these are great for layering purposes, and they're super smudgy. Like, you can work with these for days, but they do smudge out to like a light gray or a very soft brown. Like, you're not going to get a full opacity look. I would say to go for the Maybelline Tattoo Studio ones over these ones because you can get that super smudgy look, good for layering or smudging out, but you'll get a little bit more opacity there. With these ones, you can build them up and build them, but you'll always have that softness. And finally, for the mascara, I did try this out again today. It is a really nice mascara, but it does not live up to the MAC stack for me. I'm sure if this would have come into like another month, I would be more impressed by it, but this blew me out of the water. So this one was a little lackluster for me, but it does have a really curved wand. So it does apply your mascara very quickly, and it hugs your lashes to give them a nice curl and gives your lashes good volume and length, but nowhere close to this volume and length. Now let's finally move into my last category, which are my disappointments, or the products that just felt unremarkable to me. These shadows were unremarkable to me. These are from Jones Road. They're the little single shadows. Although these colors are really nice and they're good in theory, I have like cat hairs flying everywhere. I had to give Lani a big hug because I think she was feeling lonely. She was really trying to get in here. So these are the two shades I have currently. I have So Pretty and Ash. The shimmer is better. It's just a little bit flaky, and I feel like this single shadow formula is a bit like powdery, but at the same time really tacky. So whenever I try to blend them out on my eyes, they kind of get stuck in certain areas. Even if I set my eye primer with powder, they're just kind of like a stickier formula, which is good for the shimmer one, but not great for the matte. I just haven't been really reaching for them. They're not my favorites, and I feel like I wouldn't really reach for these. I feel like I have these colors in palettes, which I'd way rather reach towards a palette instead of just one single shade. I only really use single shadows if it's a really gorgeous single shimmery shadow or like a perfect transitional shade, which none of these strike as that to me. I have a mascara in this section. It is the Milk Makeup Rise Mascara. Now, this would have been a better mascara if the packaging was different. I feel like they should have worked a bit longer on this one because it gets so messy, and the formula itself already feels like a close to expiring formula because it is very dry and sticky, so it's kind of hard to get it to follow through your entire lash nicely. Like, you really have to blink hard and really force that formula from your root to tip to get that nice effect. So I feel like in some ways it's nice and others it's not great. I feel like we have so much choice for mascaras these days, and I just wouldn't recommend this one. It's super messy. You waste a lot of product when you dip back into the tube. It just has too small of an opening. Even if you try to follow along that curve, you're still going to have like a lot of excess product there. I just did that to really show you how much product you waste every time. I didn't really want to do that. Yeah, so all in all, I feel like there's better out there. And the last product I could not get to work for the life of me was this Shiseido, the Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Tint. This just sat on top of my skin. It would refuse to look good on me. I couldn't do anything for this to look good on me. It just made me look a little bit ill, like very sweaty looking, like too dewy, and it just sat on top of my skin in a super unflattering way. I did have hope for this because some of the Shiseido base products are iconic and so incredible, but this one was the opposite for me. I like the little packaging though. I love how thin the little tip is. I don't know why, but I just do. That's it. It just I couldn't work with it. And there we have it. There is my March roundup for you guys. Let me know if you fell in love with any products during the month of March. But other than that, that is all from me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a like. It would help me out so very much. I'll make sure to link all of these products in the description down below as always, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!